And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, February 26th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. The sun is shining. It is a Wednesday. We welcome you to our program. And we are, of course, on the air for Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. He's here this morning. Robert L. Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here live in studio.
It's great to be here.
Well, we always do fine when you call in, and you're one of the best as far as calling in and getting the message out and all of that. It's just about like you were sitting here, except when you're sitting here, I can look over and we eyeball each other, you know.
Well, it's I do appreciate you and MJ and Billy accommodating me when I have to call in. But there's nothing like being live and in person in Studio B. Susan gets upset with me when I can't make it in here live. Really? You know, she'll ask me about every Tuesday night, "Are you going to make it in tomorrow? Or you got to call in again?" So she gets upset with me because she knows. She loves you and MJ and Billy also, and she hates it when I'm not here in person. So Susan sends her warm greetings as she does each Wednesday morning.
Well, I'm glad that I knew it, but I'm now glad to know it even more. Susan.
Yeah. No, y'all are important to us. All of you here at the station, you and Billy, MJ, Susie, and you're important to me personally, and you're important to the bank professionally. So we are very thankful for the relationship we have with you.
Well, the feeling is mutual, and I could elaborate on that, but I better not take up commercial time.
Well, I noticed when I came in, you were staring at my tie. And give me 1 minute to talk about this tie. You know, our heritage is Scottish. MacDonald, they're a Scottish clan, Clan Donald. And it was one of the largest clans back when clans still existed up until, the mid-1700s. But I always wanted to go to Scotland. And when I was in high school, my brother was graduating from college. And my father, Willie, sent my brother to Scotland with an uncle who was sort of our family historian as a graduation gift.
Okay.
So I assumed I'd get that same gift when I graduated from college. Well, that gift never quite came. So I knew that going to Scotland was going to be on me and Susan. So Susan and I went last summer and spent a good deal of time over in Scotland. And Coleman, I got to visit probably 8 of my family's castles. They're all in some state of ruin now, of course. But I got to see our first castle, and I got to see our last castle, and spent most of that time in the western part of the country called the Western Highlands, or the Highlands, and it was lovely. And so this is one of our clan tartan ties.
Okay.
There are several.
Got it.
And so it's wool, so it's obviously a winter tie. So, which leads me into my next comment. As you know, according to the calendar of Bob McDonald, Saturday marks spring. March 1 is spring. I know spring's not till some later date, but in my mind, spring is March 1 this Saturday. So I'm wearing all my final winter clothes this week, and so I'm getting excited about March 1. And hey, we've got a good preamble. I mean, we have great weather so far, don't we?
Yeah.
As we enter that time.
All right. Well, all of that is great. You're still lending money.
Okay. Let's move into some banking. I can tell my personal stories are of no interest to you this morning, but that's okay. Well,
I appreciate that. I'm glad you told us. I knew you went somewhere, but I didn't. I'd forgotten you went to Scotland.
Yeah. Well, we were fortunate and blessed to be able to do that. Well, we're very busy at the bank.
Yeah.
We as we wrap up the second month of the year, we're off to a great start. January was a terrific month. We had some good growth in the balance sheet, and we had good earnings, and our loan portfolio was performing well. People were paying us as agreed. We need to see a drop in rates. I understand where the Fed's coming from. They can't get a feel on where the inflation is headed. Given some economic numbers that they're seeing. I understand that, but I hope they don't wait too long at decreasing rates, just as they waited too long at increasing rates back a few years ago. So I hope that they will get it right. I'm not confident that they will. In the meantime, we just need to, all of us just kind of hang on, and the economy does remain strong. We're seeing consumer confidence is still going good. The stock market's bouncing around, but overall it's good. And, home buying, is remaining stable here in your listening area. So we've got a lot to be thankful for, but if we can get rates to come down a couple times this year, we'll all benefit from that.
Okay, and don't forget that Simply Better free checking account at Cedarstone.
That's right. Come get it. It is free. It's been free for almost 21 years now, Coleman, and it's the most important banking product in our mind because it can lead to so many other relationships at the bank. So come see us for our Simply free checking account. And I want to say goodbye to your guest this morning, Mark. Good to see you, buddy, and look forward to being at your luncheon today.
We'll look forward to seeing you. I'm excited about this one.
Well, they're all good. You do a great job leading us, and see you here in a few hours.
You are too kind. Good to see you again.
All right, that is Bob McDonald, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Well, Mark Hinsley is here, and a week later than normal, because I've mentioned this several times, and I'm not picking at the county commission. They did what they thought they needed to do, but when they did it, it sort of changed things for us a little bit. And in order to have Mike Jennings here after the county commission meeting, we had to move you up a week or forward a week. You're here this Wednesday instead of last Wednesday.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you can get Mike Jennings, he ought to be number one on the list. Everybody else will fall in line. So it was a little unusual looking forward to last Wednesday, knowing that I wouldn't be coming here until the following week, because this is the day that we have our monthly luncheon, the same day that I usually come to the radio. And it's kind of odd that while I had scheduled this with you to come a week later, who knew that we would be at, less single-digit temperatures, kids out of school, need to reschedule the luncheon. Guess when it is? It's today, so here I am. So kept my listeners waiting, both of them. So how are you?
Well, I'm doing well, and it's always good to see you. And I've said this privately and probably on the air and whatever. The gentleman that we had on yesterday, Justin Beasley, and you, Mark Hinsley, are two people, probably the two in Mount Juliet, who most have your ear to the ground or know what's going on. You know everybody, and you know what's happening, and we get to have you both right here on Coleman.
Well, you know what? There might be a reason for that. If you think about it, although Justin could be my grandson, he and I both have a job where nobody really knows exactly what it is that we do. They see us out and about, and I'd say they're two of the coolest gigs you can get, really. So by the very nature of what we do, it does afford us the opportunity to get out and see a lot of things. And I'm pretty convinced that sometimes they invite chamber people to a meeting, not because they know what we do, but you just can't have a meeting without the chamber being there. So fortunate in that way. But to what Bob was talking about, still doing well, I'd say it's doing exceptionally well. And when I speak it, my livelihood is primarily, my time is mostly spent on the west side of Wilson County. I get to Lebanon 2 or 3 days a week, but and there's a tremendous amount of stuff going on over here in Mayor Bell and Sarah, they do a great job of sharing with the listeners the things that are going on and what it took to get them here and timelines and things like that. But we had 23 new business licenses in January, which we had 208 new business licenses in 23, 212 last year I think we finished up, and we're already off to 23, which is 10% ahead of the last two Januaries. So it's not only is it good, it's actually picking up. And I was just sitting here while Bob was making his remarks. I can probably think of over 24 construction sites in Mount Juliet where dirt's moving, buildings are being built, businesses are going to be opening. So it is really an exceptional time, to tell you the truth. And some of them have waited a long time. Some of them, a couple of them I can think of, had equipment on site, silt fences up, and then when interest rates went up, they just kind of went into a pause and paused for 18, 24 months, and now the silt fences are back up, equipment's there, and dirt is moving, and I'm excited about that because each one of those really is a testament to Wilson County, Mount Juliet, maybe even Middle Tennessee, these businesses, for the most part, they could go anywhere. There's hardly a town out there that wouldn't say, we'd love to have you. And so when anybody chooses to invest in your community, that's one of the highest compliments you can get. These are smart people. They're smart bankers that loan them the money to do it. They know what the chances of success are, and they're loaning a lot of money, and people are investing a lot of money in our communities. And I don't think that's something we should take for granted, because they can go just about anywhere, and they chose to come here. So it's not just what's happening today, Coleman. It's the leaders for many, many years past, and we'll keep our thoughts and prayers in the family for Mayor Don Fox. I met him, I guess when Sue Vanetta and her team were building Don Fox Park, the handicap accessible playground. That was about the time I got to know him, and our paths had crossed many, many times over the years. But, let's none of us forget those people that came long before us that dug that well that we get to drink from every single day. And so I think we have a responsibility to make sure that our kids and grandkids are afforded the same opportunities and blessings. So,
well, I'm sure we've had his obituary on our obituaries, our death notices.
Yep.
But the funeral is tomorrow. Yep. I believe it's at 1:00 at Maple Hill Church.
I think that's right.
Visitation is 3 hours from 10 to 1 tomorrow prior to the funeral. But we all going to miss him. I've known Don Fox since high school.
Have you really?
He and his brother Ray.
Okay.
I believe Ray was in my class and Don was a year ahead, if my memory's right. But I didn't know them all that well. But I have known him that long.
Well, I don't know about you, but in Mount Juliet, there's no Mark Hinesley playground, so he was pretty special to a lot of people, that's for sure. So the Coleman Walker Playground, someday, who knows?
It's time for us to take a break. More with Mark Hinesley coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A couple of accidents getting some attention out here. Here's what we're seeing. Heavier traffic at the last few minutes. 24 westbound at Bell Road. All that traffic pushing in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County into Davidson County. It's also picked up with more volume northbound 65 as you work your way up through Williamson County from Franklin into Brentwood. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has live entertainment tonight from 6 to 9. Check out the details at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hi, Phoenix fans. I'm Marcelo Saldana, a left-handed pitcher on the Cumberland baseball team from Clovis, California. The Phoenix will be at home on the weekend with a 4-game series versus Michigan Dearborn. We could really use your support, so come out onto the 6 where all the veterans get in free. Hear all of our games on these radio stations or online at WANTFM.com or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Check the Cumberland website for game times and schedule changes. I'll see you at the 6.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coleman and Company here on this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. We've got a beautiful day going for us, a little bit warmer. Very little frost this morning, just less than yesterday, even about 38 degrees, I think, in my car when I got
I loved it. I can't wait. Mine said 71 degrees at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I'm not sure where I'm going to be, but we'll be close to the window, that's for sure. I made myself a bunch of notes, and I thought I'd do what the under 30 crowd does and make my notes on my phone instead of handwriting them out. And I realized I'm glad I got bifocals, because this isn't exactly how I thought it would be, so I might not do that again. But, boy, I made a list of things. I try to jot some stuff down throughout the month so that I can remember to share a few remarks when I get here. But I had the chance to go to the Business Expo that Wilson Bank and Trust puts on a couple of weeks ago. And I've probably said it before, but probably not often enough. Our county invested a lot of money in the Wilson County Farm Bureau Expo. And I tell you what, I remember one of the first events that I remember going to there was when we had that bull riding thing. I think, if I'm not, the rodeo that was in town and everybody. And I remember all those people with dirt on their boots and everything. Just, it looked like the rodeo was taking place in the big park. But I walk through that thing to this day, and that place looks as nice and brand new and well kept. And I know that Gail and their team over there, they do a fantastic job of protecting our investment, if you will. And I think there's a lot of reasons why that's still such a popular place. And the expo was fantastic. We had our monthly community development meeting, I guess on the 14th. There was no school. We had an on-site visit and tour at Cumberland University, and Courtney and Dr. Stum, they were actually our large business of the year this year, our annual celebration. But they hosted the chamber for our community development meeting, got a tour of the campus and the history of Cumberland University, and that was great. The annual celebration and awards banquet that we had on Friday, January 31st, was a overwhelming success. We got the chance to recognize some very deserving award winners. We don't I don't call it a rubber chicken dinner. We don't sit at a dinner or anything like that. It really is a celebration, and we have a waiting list for that. It sells out every year, and
well, there's no law that says you've got to do it exactly a certain way. It doesn't have to be a sit-down type.
I know, and that sometimes when you move people's cheese around a little bit, some people aren't exactly sure, but I'll tell you what, it was met with tremendous enthusiasm, and people keep coming back, and it's a fundraiser. It's not exactly how we plan to pay all of our bills or anything. We don't want to lose money on it, but it's expensive to host a party for a couple, 300 people or whatever. But it works out great, and the Hilton Garden View Inn has been very good to us, and it's nice to be able to have a floor of rooms. If you want to spend the night, just walk right upstairs when the party's over and then go in the restaurant and have breakfast in the morning. So that's something we look forward to. This year it was a week early. We had it on the 31st of January. Which turned out to be fantastic. We didn't want to compete with the Wilson Bank and Trust home show. So today we'll be having Your County Connection. Mayor Hutto, he comes to the Mount Juliet, Lebanon, and Watertown chambers on the last Wednesday of the month. So we'll be going from here over to get an update on things going on in the county. And then I'm sure he'll share a little bit with us today. But he has a 3-part series this year, just like last year, called Looking into the Future. Uh-huh. And that one we went to was, I thought it was very enlightening. It was law enforcement, Sheriff Bryan, the police folks were there from all 3 municipalities in the county. It's open to the public. The next one is Tuesday, April 29th. I think that's at College Hills Church of Christ. If I'm not mistaken, the topic is education, another very important subject, and those are so well done. Middle Tennessee Electric is the sponsor of those, and we appreciate that. Got a chance to go to a ribbon cutting that was just absolutely amazing. Anything that Tracy and Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital do is fantastic. They had a huge turnout over, I think it's Oncology. I hope I'm not misspeaking, but over there kind of by Snow White Barbecue by First Freedom Bank and their building over there. Beautiful, renovated area, and yet another investment into our community, and very, very happy about that. We're going to unveil our magazine today, Main Street Media. Those folks do a wonderful publication for us every year, and so we have the cover blown up, and I can tell you, it'll be shrouded in mystery at the head of the State of the City address this morning, and before we adjourn, we will unveil the cover of the magazine, and it's going to be very well received. They do a fantastic job helping us tell our story of our community and somewhat the chamber, because today is our State of the City address. Mentioned earlier that got rescheduled from last Wednesday. Our friends at Rutland Place are so gracious and so easy to work with, and I think out of about 125 or so reservations, there were only maybe 3 people that, because we moved it week will not be able to attend, but I appreciate everybody's flexibility. None of us want to try to reschedule anything like that. And Melanie and her team at the Lebanon Chamber were able to have their State of the City address with Mayor Bell last Thursday, even without school being in session. And I'm happy for them, because rescheduling something like that can be a challenge at best. So I like to see that. We're having a city leaders breakfast this Thursday, which is something we have done off and on over many years, where the leadership team of the chamber and the leadership team of City Hall, we just get together and break bread and fellowship and just make sure that what we're doing as an organization helps the city fulfill their vision of what they see as.
How many are you talking about from each entity?
Maybe 15 or so from each. We have 15 board members, and as far as I know, all but one can make it. And Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital is sponsoring the breakfast, so we'll have a couple of them, and then the mayor, the city manager, Kenny Martin, the folks that you hear a lot about, department heads, decision makers, city folks that interface with the businesses, and just to make sure we're all on the same page and that everybody knows who everybody is. And because at the end of the day, we're working together. I think their job is a little bit easier because of the efforts that we do, and we can't do anything if, what is it? If the city sneezes, we catch a cold. I mean, to tell you the truth, it's and so we have things that we might want to do, but if they're not going to help us,
sure I've heard.
Yeah, I didn't make that up. Somebody told me that. I just happen to remember it. So don't worry, I'll forget it by this afternoon. But and again, that's just access. We like to be a conduit to our elected officials, and we are so fortunate that. I think there's 4 Ray Renders running around in Wilson County because he's everywhere too. But having a direct line of communication with your federal officials is a huge deal, and not all chambers and not all communities have that. Mayor Hutto, tremendous access. Today is the State of the City address with Mayor Manus, and we have a record crowd. And then on the first Friday of every month, State Representative Lynn and State Senator Mark Pody, they rotate Fridays, and so we may not be able to impact the legislation, but we can put you in the same room as the people that are making the decisions, and I think people are grateful for that. And then coming up before I'll be back the next time on Wednesday, March the 12th, we'll be taking the train. We'll leave the office on a Wednesday morning and take the train downtown with a group of folks for our Day on the Hill. We get off at Riverfront Park, take a quick bus ride over to Legislative Plaza. We tour the Capitol. We meet with everybody from TDOT, the Department of Education, Commerce, and Industry. We tour the Supreme Court Library, picture taken with the governor, and just a day to go down and see, how the sausage is made, so to speak. And that's always very popular. It's a lot more popular if it's north of 60 degrees outside, but there's a lot of walking around.
But is there any particular legislation you're
not really
pushing or opposing?
No, there's some things that Senator Pody's advisory committee meets on Thursday afternoon, and there's things that the State Association chamber folks are kind of watching, bills that impact. Granted, some of them might be energy bills that affect Alcoa Steel or something like that, or fuel prices at the FedEx airport in Memphis that maybe aren't on my radar screen like they would be others. But there are some things that do impact Wilson County and Mount Juliet. The special session was one, immigration, the financial relief for the folks that suffered during Hurricane Helene, and then, of course, the school voucher program. So, and I like to, if somebody asks questions, I like to be able to, first of all, if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, but I don't like saying I don't know, so I do try to pay attention to what's going on, and they'll probably adjourn by, maybe mid-April this year. The special session, that probably was the heavy lifting for this session, I'm going to guess, but I loved listening to Governor Lee. Some of the things that he was talking about are very important. We'll talk about that on down the road, I'm sure, with TCAT and the investment in hydrogen. Those are game changers for Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And while we're sleeping, they're working on that, so that's good news. I also want to make sure that I mention that we will be wrapping up. I know I've heard numerous times about the Read to Succeed program that the three Rotary clubs, 100,000 books. And so many people work so hard to make that happen. But we'll be recognizing all three of those Rotary clubs today at our monthly luncheon with our Community Enhancement Award. And
we did that yesterday here. I think, or was it Monday?
It was Monday morning.
Yes,
it sure was. Right. And, what's a Rotarian? Well, just good deed doers doing good deeds and making this a better place at the end of the day. And I looked, and I had been a Rotarian now. On January 1st, it was 29 years, I think, since I joined Rotary. And you know what? I skipped my first meeting because I'd heard stories about people with perfect attendance, Coleman, for 30 years or something. And I thought, that's a pressure that I don't want to carry. That's too big of a burden. So I'm going to skip my first meeting and get that perfect attendance monkey off my back. And I've enjoyed it for 29 years. So I couldn't handle all of that pressure. But I just want to remind folks that, get out and shop local. These small businesses are counting on us every day. And I see people out front selling Girl Scout cookies. And that's a perfect example. These businesses, when you go knocking on the door, can we sell cookies? And they say yes, maybe the time to pay them back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Coleman, great to be here. I know I'm out of time. See you in a month.
Oh, thank you so much. Always good to have you. Mark Hunsley, he's the executive director, and all the titles that go with whatever heading up the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Keep it here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts of oil. Tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Starting to pick up with more volume. Just in the last few minutes, it's been quiet so far. Actually, on 24 West coming in from Murfreesboro up through Antioch as you come past Bell Road all the way up to Briley Parkway. Now, 65's got a little bit of volume southbound down through Millersville. It's trying to load up with more volume over here near the airport. On 40 coming westbound as that traffic builds in from Hermitage and from Wilson County, especially trying to get through Mount Juliet. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has live entertainment starting tonight from 6 to 9. Check out the details, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They do upfront loans of $250 to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes.
Have you ever desired to live in a stately historical home in the Lebanon Historical District? If so, now you have the opportunity. This is Lou Ann Snyder of A.G. & Johnson Realty, and along with Ed James, we have a large 2-story home listed in the Cumberland University Historic District. It features a brand new roof plus a new HVAC system. Call Ed or myself, Lou Ann, at 615-444-0909 to schedule a tour.
We'll have partly cloudy skies today, and it'll be the warmest day of the week. Highs will be in the lower 70s. Rain showers move in tonight, lows in the upper 40s. And then partly cloudy on our Thursday, highs in the upper 50s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on a beautiful, wonderful Wednesday morning, at least right now. I think they're talking rain by tonight or midnight or something, but we're going to enjoy this Wednesday while the sun is shining, and we thank you for joining us, and want to introduce my guest for part 2 this morning. From Sherry's Hope, we have Corey Cluck and we have Kesney Hoot. Corey, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
It's good to see you again.
Well,
you probably have been here more than any other one person for Sherry's Run or Sherry's Hope.
I think that's probably correct.
Right.
That's true.
And Kesney Hoot, you're a little bit younger, a little bit newer, but we welcome you this morning.
Good morning.
What's your role, actually?
I am the marketing director, so I do all things social media and newspaper.
Well, we've talked to Corey many times, but not a lot with you. Tell us a little bit about you and your background, how you got to be doing what you're doing, if you will.
So I went to Cumberland University, and while I was doing my master's degree, I worked for Mike's Flower Shop, and he ties all the green bows for Sherry's Run, and it was just a God thing. It worked out. Mike one day said, "Hey, Sherry's Run, Sherry's Hope is looking for a marketing director. I have no idea what your degree is in, but would you be interested?" And that was what my major was in. So worked out. I went and met everybody at Sherry's Hope and started working there.
How long ago was that?
Going on 3 years.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're no rookie anymore.
Not quite. Maybe.
Well, Corey, how are things with you?
They're going well.
Are you doing anything really different you did the last 2 or 3 years? You're just taking care of business, as we say.
Not really anything different. Yes, sir. Taking care of business, and we do have this new event, so we've been planning for that. Of course, Kessie's done the vast majority of that, but other than that, things are. We are gearing up for March, being Colon Cancer Awareness Month. So we have our test kits that we offer all year long, but always really focus on that during the month of March. So I want to make sure people know if you need a test kit, we'd love to send one to you. You can text us at 615-925-2592. Or call, and we'll send one to you.
Well, it is nice to have you both with us today. And, of course, usually right before the run, we have a little extra publicity. That's when we make you more visible maybe than any other time, if we want to put it that way.
Yes, sir.
But this is something that's very important, too. So let's explore this opportunity today.
Yeah, so Wave of Hope is a brand new event. And it will be this Saturday, March 1st from 10 to 2. It's going to be on the same West Lawn at 623 West Main Street in Lebanon, as same place as the run takes place. And basically,
this, of course, is the Wilson Bank place there, the West Lawn.
Yes,
Wilson
right
Bank.
across from Wilson Bank. And so basically it's just a fun, family-friendly day to kick off Colon Cancer Awareness Month. We'll have our free colon cancer screening kits on site that day, as well as food trucks and music and different vendors and things like that.
Well, if you pretty much put this together, can you claim a lot of the credit for that movie?
Well, we are such a team. I don't think so. We're a team at Sherry's Hope.
Yeah,
and
but you have been working diligently.
I have.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is her brainchild, and she has seen it through from beginning to now.
Well, what prompted you to think in this direction?
Well, at Sherry's Hope, our main thing is assisting families in Wilson County and surrounding communities with expenses caused by cancer. And our second, I think, greatest thing that we try to focus on is colon cancer awareness and prevention. And so I thought, well, let's try to make it bigger than ever this year. Let's try to get more test kits out because we do have several stories of people receiving a test kit and getting a positive result and going to get a colonoscopy and found polyps, and they were able to prevent a potential colon cancer diagnosis that might have happened later on down the road.
Are people... This is something we don't really even like to think about, and then even we think about it, maybe we don't want to take the action that is necessary. And I mean, who really wants a colonoscopy? But sometimes they're necessary, and the message does need to get out. So that's your job, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So how receptive do you find people? Do you have to push them a little bit, or?
Sometimes they're a little bit apprehensive about the test just because people don't like to talk about colon health. For some reason, the stigma is that it's embarrassing. But we want to end that stereotype and really just make people realize that it's an important thing to talk about.
So these kits that you're talking about, I take it they're free.
Yes, sir.
You're encouraging people to take something free. Here,
yes, sir.
But not just take it to do the rest. What's your follow up?
Yeah, we definitely want them to follow up. They're free. It only costs you the postage to mail it back into our partner. So we purchase the kits. We have a wonderful partner, Ascension Gastroenterology here in Lebanon, that processes them for us, and they send back a negative or positive result, whatever they find. There's no obligation. They don't follow up beyond that. There's no obligation to go see them for anything. But if you do have a positive result, then, of course, you would want to see any gastroenterologist to see what's going on. It may be something serious or it could be something very minor, but this test is a good one to give you. It tests for blood in the stool, so it's 98% effective at finding blood in the stool. It does not take the place of a colonoscopy. We have people ask that all the time, so it doesn't take the place of that, but it's a really good screening. It's a good one to do if you're not of age to where your insurance typically covers it, or if you're already having colonoscopies and you want to do it in between your colonoscopy plan. It's just a good test to do and a good screening. So we encourage everybody to do that.
Right. And this has been going on for some time. I think we have a few of them that are on the front counter out here all the time.
Yes, sir. We've been offering these tests since almost the very beginning of Sherry's run. Of course, Sherry passed away from colon cancer at the age of 44. And so even then, with, of course, the age was 50 that they recommended getting colonoscopy. Even now with the age of 45, she still was younger than that age. So these tests are really good to do if you're not of average risk. Of course, if you're in above average risk, like for myself, my dad died of colon cancer. So I've been on a 5-year plan for a while. and they're not, colonoscopies are not that big a deal. It's a good nap. Kesney's done a really good job with the marketing of making it sort of whimsical in the ad, so, just to get people's attention. But it really is to let people know it's not that big a deal, but have, something serious like cancer is a big deal if you don't get screened.
And early detection is almost anything that you might have, any disease or any malady that comes your way. Early detection usually is the best thing that can happen to you. The earlier the better.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah. Back to your thing this Saturday. Let's talk a little more about that, Kesney. And you're trying to have a fun time to get a message out, really, I think.
Yes, sir. So a little bit more about the details of that day. Like I said, we're going to have music all throughout the day, and Any Event Sound will be there doing our DJ music. But at 12 o'clock till 1 p.m., Bach to Rock, Mount Juliet, their music school is going to come perform live. So they have several kids' bands that will be performing, so that will be lots of fun. We have 4 different food trucks that will be there. The Dog House, Tennessee Tater Cakes, Traveling Toms, and Hudson Family Kettle Corn will be there. We have Southeast Impressions will be there doing custom T-shirts, and they'll all be blue for Colon Cancer Awareness Month. That is the color to wear. March 7th is National Wear Blue Day for colon cancer awareness, so it's a great opportunity to purchase your shirt for that day.
Mm-hmm. What's one of those shirts cost?
I think that they're going to be starting at $15. They may have a different variety of sweatshirts and things like that, so that will change the cost.
But blue is the color.
Yes, sir.
Is that just this year or? Every
year. Blue is the cancer ribbon for colon cancer.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure I was aware of that. Learn something every day.
Yes, sir.
You've been planning this for a while, I take it.
Yes, sir. In about October, we started kind of brainstorming it, and it's just kind of come to fruition. So.
Well, and what time did you say? This is going to be at the West Lawn.
Yes, sir.
We talked about that. And what time does it start?
It will start at 10 a.m. and it ends at 2. And like I said,
so
the
light 4-hour window.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Come get your test kit, and we also will have some local vendors on site you can buy some things from them. The Essential Juicery, Ruby's Radiant Essentials, and the Village Sourdough will be there. We also have some local vendors coming that are health related. The Wilson County Health Department will be there. Lebanon Endoscopy, Ascension St. Thomas, Active Life Chiropractic, Live Hydration Spa, and then Sports Village Fitness will be providing yard games.
Okay, and some of those people there, just to let you know that they exist, and maybe talk about what they do if
Yes, sir.
people are interested, want to know it all.
Yes, sir. We figured since we're focusing this on colon cancer health, we could add some other health-related things to the day.
Okay, we are a minute early, but MJ, if you are ready, we'll get ready in a hurry here. Let's go ahead and take our break. And we're talking Sherry's Hope and the big event coming up this Saturday. We'll continue with Corey and Kesney in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. Ride it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still some traffic volume trying to get past the airport over here on 40 westbound, passing Donaldson Pike, working your way towards Fessler's. It's a crash at West End and 32nd in the Midtown area that's getting some attention. It's loading up with more volume just in the last few minutes, which has been in pretty good shape. 65 northbound from Franklin all the way up through Brentwood. Hey, when you need dependable towing here in Middle Tennessee, there's only one name to remember, and that's STR Towing and Recovery. Check out strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. We continue here on this Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Corey Clark and Kesney Hoot are with us. Sherry's Hope and Sherry's Run. And I think this would be, Corey, you could do this in a minute or two here, but people hear both terms and they might wonder, well, all I heard in the past was Sherry's Run, and then you come along with Sherry's Hope. What's the difference? And there's a little bit, it's a sort of a technical thing. Really.
It is, yeah. So, and it's still a process of awareness for the name change and why we changed it. So, yes, we started as Sherry's Run. The year that Sherry died, the very first Sherry's Run was held just to honor her. Didn't know if there would ever be anything else beyond that. And so, but this community is so amazing and came out in great support. And so they decided to do it again and have it again the next year and the next year. And then said, you know what, we need to continue this, and became an actual organization. But as things go along, you start to find out things, and when you apply for grants, as Sherry's Run and the name indicates an event, you can't really apply for those kinds of grants, or there's a confusion when you tell people you talk about donations or things that you do year-round as far as our patient assistance, and they don't understand what that is. But then when COVID happened and we weren't able to have the in-person event, that really made us realize we do need to have this name change. We talked about it for several years, but we're uncertain because, you have a brand and we didn't know if it would be well received. But once we realized that, you never know when something's going to happen and we may not have this run anymore. Something like COVID could come along, just the interest may fall off, and thank goodness, thank the Lord, and this community is so amazing, still supporting us in that. But we decided to go on and have that name change. And so all it is just showing we are a year-round organization as Sherry's Hope, but Sherry's Run is still our event that benefits Sherry's Hope. And then this Wave of Hope, and then our Sherry's Hope Gala that happens every year in the spring. It's moved actually to the month of March this year, but any event just raises money for Sherry's Hope, the organization.
Right. One is the organization, one's the event.
Exactly.
And
Yes, sir.
It's really that simple.
It really is.
Sherry's Hope's the organization.
Yes, sir.
Sherry's runs the event.
Yes,
It's
sir.
held every September.
Yes, sir.
And to talk about that even more, like you said, the first time you just had it to honor Sherry and remember her and so on, and Gary Whitaker, he's played a big role in this and
Sure.
still does, her husband, but you didn't know, but it's turned out to be a fundraiser for something that helps the whole community, and that's why the two of you, I guess, have jobs and existed to
That's right.
take care of that and to screen people and to help them with all the money. And I know somebody here that's been looking at what y'all have done and are wanting to kind of copy you for a fundraiser they're even thinking about. And you've done a lot of things right in this. I guess, Corey, you've been a part of this from almost from the beginning.
I was a participant and a supporter from the very beginning. I knew Sherry, went to church with her and Gary and the boys, and so definitely supported. But then in 2011, I was hired as the first employee. Prior to that, everything was done just on a volunteer basis. But it grew to the point that they needed to hire an employee to kind of start handling things and help with things. And then it grew from there, and we hired our first patient assistance director, and then Alisa Eakes, who's not with us here today, but she's the one who handles everything and takes care of the patients so well and works with them to determine what their needs are and how we can help those needs based on our guidelines.
But I want to think, and I'm not just trying to make you look good necessarily. You do look good. Haven't you really exceeded all expectations from what you envisioned in the beginning?
Well, to be honest, the initial group, the board of directors from the very beginning, which included Gary Whitaker, of course, they sat down and said, we don't set goals. God is going to provide what He wants His purpose to be served, whatever that is, and that really is how we operate today. Still, we trust that He's going to take care of whatever it is. And to be honest, we wish that there was no need for Sherry's Hope, because that would mean there was no cancer diagnosis for anybody to even need assistance.
Right.
But as long as there is, we know that the Lord's going to take care of that. Whatever that is, and that's really how we operate. So it has been a tremendous success, and but that is all credit to God and to this community, because the support is just incredible, and that includes everyone here at this radio station. I mean, we're so blessed and grateful for it.
Well, Kesney, see what you've become a part of.
Very thankful to be a part of it.
We're thankful for her.
but it's nice to have a younger person to come on and
absolutely
to with their energy and enthusiasm.
She has to put up with us old ladies. We call ourselves her work moms.
But it's something that no doubt, Kesney, you have enjoyed being a part of and feel a part of and have a role to play.
Yes, sir. It has been great. That I really enjoy working with Corey and Alisa. Like I said, they are my work moms, both personally, and they help me with work things too. But it's just incredible to see God's hand in the organization.
Well, there's no plans, as far as I know, on letting up. I mean, you're just going to continue, keep on keeping on, as we say, as long as the need is there and as the community continues to support. And
that's the plan. Well, we pray that does continue as long as there is a need, and we just trust the Lord to take care of it.
And you said that very well. It would be wonderful if there wasn't any cancer, any colon cancer, any other cancer, and there was no need for this. But there is, and you're there. Well, we still got about 7 minutes here this morning. You were mentioning something else that's coming up. We'll get back to the Saturday thing in a minute. But can you talk a little bit about what I forgot what it is? But
the Sherry's Hope Gala.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that is going to be held at the Farm Bureau Expo Center on March 29th. Julie Miller and Ginger Naylor are our co-chairs this year for it. Julie Miller has been a chair of the event for several years, but she's brought along Ginger Naylor this year. And if you are interested in being a sponsor or buying a table or a ticket, you can reach out to our office and we can give you Julie's contact information.
All right, now how long has that been going on?
Well, it started as Low Country Boil years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then transitioned into Mardi Gras at the Capitol, and then it was just Mardi Gras, and then it transitioned into the Sherry's Hope Gala 3-4 years ago, something like that.
So a few years it's been the gala,
Yes,
and
sir.
I guess I lost track of time here. I remember the Mardi Gras thing and all
Yes,
of that,
sir.
but I'd forgotten about this. But this, in essence, another fundraiser, really?
It is, and that committee does an incredible job of, and it's a completely different type of fundraiser, than the run. Obviously, it's a dinner, and it does have a live auction and a silent auction and a live band and things, but it's just completely different.
I don't know whether we've got that scheduled to talk about in the future or not, but it's at least worth mentioning this
sir.
morning. And what's the date for that again?
March 29th at the Farm Bureau Expo Center.
Okay, so that's a little over a month away. But the thing we're really here to talk about this morning is this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And getting back to that, for those of you who might have joined us late, Kesney's going to tell us about it again. Kind of go over the whole thing, if you would.
Yeah. So Wave of Hope is a brand new event presented by Sherry's Hope, and it's going to be this Saturday, March 1st at 623 West Main Street on the West Lawn. So that's the lawn across from the main branch of Wilson Bank and Trust.
Right.
And it's basically just going to be a day of family fun to kick off Colon Cancer Awareness Month. We will have our free colon cancer screening kits on site, so you can come by and get one of those. And while you're there will be food trucks, the Doghouse, Tennessee Tater Cakes, Traveling Toms, and Hudson Family Kettle Corn will be there. We will have music. In the event, sound will be DJing for us, and Bach to Rock, Mount Juliet, the kids' music school, will be performing live music from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., so don't miss that. We also have several vendors coming to sell things. The Essential Juicery, Ruby's Radiant Essentials, which is like soaps and things like that. And the Village Sourdough will be there. Southeast Impressions will be there making custom T-shirts on site that day, and they will be blue themed for colon cancer awareness. March the 7th, the following Friday, is National Dress in Blue Day for colon cancer awareness, so it's the perfect opportunity to buy your T-shirt for that. They'll start at $15, depending on what kind of shirt you choose. We also have several health-related vendors coming. The Wilson County Health Department will be there, Lebanon Endoscopy, Ascension St. Thomas, Active Life Chiropractic, Live Hydration Spa, and then Sports Village will be there providing some yard games for us.
Well, I think you covered everything very very well there. That's kind of it in a nutshell for what's scheduled for this Saturday on the West Lawn.
Yes, sir.
10 to 2.
Yes, sir.
4 hours. All right. Well, I was just, as you were telling about that, I was thinking what else we might talk about the two of you. And I wonder if either of you are sports enthusiasts, if you have a favorite sport, and if you have a favorite sport, a favorite team.
I am a bit of a sports enthusiast. I'm a Tennessee fan. Sorry, MJ.
Oh, by the way, did you know that Georgia beat Florida last night? I'll bet she knows. I saw
the Lady Vols beat Florida as well.
Oh. Well, this is pick on MJ for a moment here.
Yeah, my husband, who's an Auburn fan, is not a Tennessee fan, so we have an interesting household. And so...
Well, you got one common thing there. Bruce Pearl has coached both of your teams.
That is true. And we're Titans fans, even though it's really hard to be a Titans fan right now, but we are Titans fans.
Kesney, what about you?
Honestly, I don't really have a team that I root for. I just kind of root whoever my husband is rooting for.
See, my husband would say, "See, she's a good wife."
Well, I'll bet since you graduated from Cumberland, you're somewhat of a Cumberland fan.
Yes, sir.
This is at least 2 or 3 times we've mentioned Cumberland this morning, so I think the program will get an A from Dr. Tom.
Perfect.
We appreciate Cumberland. They help us a lot at the run with
Yes.
volunteers for that. So.
Well, Dr. Stum is a special person, and I consider him a friend. I'm pretty sure he considers me a friend, and we kind of go back and forth with this. Every once in a while, he'll send me a text if we mention Cumberland 2 or 3 times during the hour, and
so we've overperformed today with that.
But you had a good experience at Cumberland.
I did, yes, sir. I loved Cumberland. I was very involved with the BCM, the on-campus ministry there, and I was a graduate assistant for student life, and so I would just say to anyone who's going to Cumberland, get involved because it's a great place to be.
Yeah. Well, it's made even better by the efforts of Dr. Stum, and I
Yes,
think
sir.
we all agree with that. So there's another feather in his cap this morning. Well, to close out, we've been talking about the event coming up this Saturday from 10 to 1 at the West Lawn, and you're calling it what?
Wave of Hope.
All right. And, of course, all presented by Sherry's Hope. And this morning we've had Corey Cluck and Kesney Hoot here to tell us all about what's going on. And I'll tell you what, we have covered a lot of territory, and we've had a lot of fun doing it
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Thank you both.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate having you and what you're doing, and just keep up the good work. And that's going to do it for a Wednesday. And I hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.